How are y'all? I'm Russ.
I'm Gus.
This is the Gus and Rus show. This is going to be a new show / podcast where I'm a big music guy throughout the years. Gus has been a big movie guy.
Yeah, I would say that's fair.
And we have this idea where I want to attempt to explain movies to Gus, and he's going to try to explain albums to me. We're going to see how we do, and we're going to quiz each other. And at the end, whoever does worse in the quiz, by the end of the following week, has to do a weird little food challenge that the other one decides on. What do you think of that, Gus?
I think it's fine. I think this food challenge is going to be cow tongue. The loser has to eat cow tongue.
This one?
Yes.
Okay. In the current times, we're going to wish ourselves luck procuring this cow tongue, but you know what? That's part of the fun.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's going to be on a bit of a layaway for a while.
I think everything's on layaway right now, Gus.
That's a fair point.
I might as well order the cow tongue today.
Well, I mean, at least we didn't say, oh, you got to build a fort out of toilet paper, because that's near fucking impossible nowadays.
It really is, isn't it? Do you have any, Gus, by the way?
I'm going to say no to you, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah, I need to see you after the podcast, Gus. Yeah, you're going to have to discuss this one.
I don't think we are.
I only came here for the toilet paper, Gus.
That's a shame, Russ. Because
well,
I was going to go to your place for toilet paper, because this is not our usual recording area.
It's not, so if there's any background noise, I'm going to do my best to edit it out, but if not, hey, we tried, so give us some slack here.
It's a pandemic.
It is. This is an emergency. We are serving the people. We're American heroes, Gus.
I think that actually constitutes more of a hate crime against the hearing, but sure, go for that.
I mean, so we're a podcast for masochists now?
Oh, that's an interesting podcast, masochist. We're gonna put that on the title.
Are we?
Sure.
Oh. Wait, I have to edit that. You're just giving me more work, Gus. How does that feel?
It's not my work.
I'm gonna make you edit one of these, Gus, just so you can understand.
It's gonna be terrible, but sure, go for it.
You don't trust yourself editing, Gus? Or are you just gonna purposely mess it up?
I mean, I don't trust my work ethic to be able to edit this. I mean, I can barely write an essay or complete a math test. I have no idea how I'm gonna be able to edit a whole hour-ish long podcast. But sure, yeah, we can do that, Russ. Put your faith in me.
I mean, my faith is in you all the time, Gus.
We should probably start the actual meat of the podcast.
Should we? I don't know. I mean, they got time. Where are they gonna go? They can't drive anywhere. We've got a captive audience, Gus. How's that feel?
We have a very captive audience.
I'm pretty sure there's a travel ban right now in Alabama.
Damn.
Yeah, I got that news this morning. But I have to go to work tonight, so we're going to see how that goes.
Yeah.
If I get pulled over, I don't even know what to say to him. I'm going to work. Why are you going to work, son? I don't know. Why are you working?
Did you want to edit out the state we're in, or you just want to have our known location?
I mean, I think we can give them our general location, but not our city we're in. I think that's safe enough. There's 50 states. If we name one of them, we've only gotten so far.
How many Gus's and Russes could there possibly be?
That's a good point. For all of y'all, we are in Turkey. If you come looking for us, we're in Turkey. So Istanbul.
Constantinople.
Wait, which one is it now?
Istanbul, not Constantinople?
Okay, it's Istanbul. I look like a fool on the podcast now, but that's okay.
Sure.
But for the first episode, you'll notice it's titled Heavy Metal Mania.
That's primarily because we both chose something heavy metal. I chose for us to watch the 1981 film Heavy Metal.
And it was something. And I chose Gus to listen to the W.A.S.P album, The Crimson Idol. One of my favorite albums, honestly.
And one that I actually also ended up really liking. So we'll start by discussing the album.
Absolutely, sounds great.
And then
live your life, Gus.
We'll move on to the film. So the gist of the album is that it follows a sort of down-on-his-luck man named Jonathan Steele. He's sort of the black sheep of his family. Has an older brother, Michael, who's the prodigal son, 2 real shitbag parents, and then one day, his older brother, the only person he really cared about, dies. So, Jonathan decides to go on to basically become a rock star by employing such gentlemen as Chainsaw Charlie, Dr. Rocker, which is basically his drug dealer, and a variety of music moguls and general blood-sucking leeches that populate the music industry.
I mean, it's just the entire industry, isn't it?
This is the entire industry. So, off the bat, I would say I really like the album back to front. I can't find too many negatives of the album. I think the only negative I think is because, or negatives I can think of, is that a lot of them are very long and very meandering.
Yes.
If you, there are good lyrics, but the lyrics are actually probably rather minute, and I think this is most notable in the Titanic Overture and The Invisible Boy, the first 2 tracks. because I think like they only have like maybe like one or two stanzas total each, but the tracks are like full all in songs. Like, in terms of like they're 3.5, 4 minute long songs, and there's like a total of like 8, 10 total lines. So it's like 4 or 5 lines, like 2 minutes of music, and then another 4 or 5 lines, like final minute of music, which is like great because the music is good. On one hand, but on the other hand, it's just kind of like you're kind of like thinking like, all right, is this gonna like kind of pick up, or like are we gonna have more lyrics? Those other things. So a bit meandering, in my opinion. I mean, it's a fun meandering, but still, it doesn't like it does take some time to get where it needs to go. Where I think you could have cut out probably a minute or two of each song, and it still would have maintained most of its integral core. And
what I think about that is that I don't know. You probably don't know this, but this was something that I learned early on. This wasn't supposed to be a W.A.S.P album. This is supposed to be the frontman's solo album. When he was suffering through a depressive state. Which makes a lot more of the meandering understandable, which is a solo album. Because, I mean, have you heard people's solo projects?
Yeah,
they're always a little too creative there.
But by definition, they are self-indulgent.
They are. And if he had released this as just his own album, I think that would have been a little more understandable, like, why it's so meandering. And, like, it's just his solo album. It is what it is. But the label wanted him to release it under the W.A.S.P name so it can make more money. I think it's a good album, but I think maybe releasing it under the W.A.S.P name wasn't the best idea for how meandering and long that album is.
Yeah, it does pick up starting with like a Arena of Pleasure and Chainsaw Charlie. Even though again, the songs are still really long. Even with Chainsaw Charlie, which has like a normal amount of songs, like amount of lyrics, is almost 10 minutes in length.
It is. It's a fun song, though.
It's a fun song. It's great. I mean, I definitely recommend listening to it if you're going for like a run. Like, not like a jog, like a run.
You gotta be sprinting on this one.
Yeah. But like...
Holding a chainsaw.
Holding a chainsaw. You basically gotta be wearing, like, going with Patrick Bateman down the halls of your house or down the streets at dead of night. It's perfect for that.
It really is.
I think that the story is really good for it. I mean, like, the highs and lows that Jonathan suffers. Because, I mean, he's a character that I think a number of people can relate to, especially with this genre, people who are interested in this genre. But also, like, I feel that it offers enough twists and turns to where it feels fresh and a bit new. Granted, this album is almost 30 years old, but it is still, I think it still holds up after all this time.
Do you want to hear a fun fact, Gus?
Sure.
They actually never toured this album until 15 years later.
Yeah, I read about that. They toured in 2007.
I don't know why that was ever a thing. Why not tour? It's with an album like that, you could just make that the entire show for an entire tour and be fine.
Yeah, maybe the only thing I could think of was like maybe they're waiting for all the angsty teenagers who listened to it when they were kids to like be like full grown like 30 somethings.
So they had the money to buy tickets.
Yeah, expendable income. So it's like, hey, we can charge you like $300 for a ticket because you have that kind of dough now.
I mean, let's be honest, I would do that.
Granted, though, I think it's great that they did in 2007 and not like 2008, or else that tour would have gone blown up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Don't you love Recessions?
I love them.
I mean, we're about to go through one right now. I mean, that's almost
Are we actually going through one right now? Hasn't the market already almost crashed?
It's already crashed, but the issue is like now most people are starting to become unemployed. So the thing is, even when this ends, you have a lot of businesses that are bankrupt and a lot of people who no longer have jobs.
Man, I love Recessions, Gus.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Though, let's not make this podcast entirely depressing.
No, Gus, let's double down on the depression, right? Let's make everyone sad.
Well, you want to make it sad, I guess is the right term, but kind of like disturbed, is, I guess we have to kind of mention this in, that there's like, the only like part where I actually kind of paused, that threw me for a loop, was during the track The Idol, a random N-bomb is thrown in there. For, like, no real...
It's the only one in the entire album. It's the only even, like, reference to it, and I don't understand why it's there.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, the only thing I can understand is, like, he's trying to, like, equate it with, like, the idea because he feels like he's just a slave
to the music industry.
To the music industry and to the corporate mainstream, like, image rampant in it. But even then, like, you could have said slave. You didn't have to say that.
I think that's the only use of the word ever in any of his songs.
It is.
And, I don't know why I used it. I can't defend it. I don't know how. I don't know what the rationale was behind it.
Yeah.
I think I get his idea behind it, but I don't understand why he chose it. You could have chosen any other word, anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like again, like I still like the album. I just feel like it'd be disingenuous to not mention it and like just kind of like like yeah, we know it's in there, but it's still a really good album and something we still probably recommend.
I have to go back and double check the remastered version. He may have edited that out.
Yeah.
As he edited a lot of the songs on the album when he remastered it.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back and check. He might have. I mean, I hope he would. I hope he just wouldn't double down on that.
Yeah, because it's like...
Because then I'd have a lot more mixed feelings about what I'm listening to.
Yeah, there might actually be a live version from the actual... Oh, there is a live version from when they went on tour. Yeah, I mean, because that was 2007. That's way worse.
That would take some balls if we did then.
Yeah.
And I'd have a lot worse feelings about the band and him as a whole, but...
Yeah, I mean, so overall, I would say with this album is it's like some, instances of poorly chosen words.
Yes.
I think it's still a really great album. Has a really good story. Great musical content. If a bit self-indulgent and meandering, though, considering that it's really damn good, I think it kind of earns it. So overall, I mean, I would say, kind of first listen, I get a solid, A minus.
Okay. Question real quick for you.
Yeah.
What was your favorite song on the album?
Oh, my favorite was probably The Invisible Boy. Even though, and again, I think this kind of speaks to, even though the lyrical content is sparse, the lyrical meaning is really great, and also the music itself is just, it's just a super energetic song from the get-go, something you can listen to just, when I was listening to it, I was like, I could probably do, a whole, sprint to this, because this is,
But did you do the whole sprint, Gus?
No.
Oh.
I sat in my couch and listened to it.
What was your least favorite song, Gus?
It was probably the first track, unfortunately, the Titanic Overture. I just, again, it was probably the most meandering of any of the songs, in my opinion, because there's only a total of 6 to 8 verses and then 3.5 minutes total song.
Yes.
So I mean, I liked it well enough, but in comparison to the other tracks, the album just didn't really give me as much as say The Idol or The Eulogy or Invisible Boy.
The album has a weird habit of going from something really fast and upbeat, like Invisible Boy, to going to something like Titanic Overture or The Eulogy, where it immediately just drops all tension speed and it's oh, now we're just on a little walk. Here we go. Yeah. And then it'll go back into Arena of Pleasure, which was my favorite song, probably one of my favorite songs.
Arena of Pleasure was good.
Where it just kind of just punched you in the mouth for a second, and that drops you again. It's that or the Great Misconception of Jonathan Steele, I think the full name of the song.
Yeah, that is the name of the song.
That's a good song. It's
really
it's like an 8-minute long song though, so you have to be prepared for that. But it is a good song.
It really is though, the second most. I mean, it's one of the most impactful emotionally songs. Yeah, and then I still really, but yeah, also the usually found more emotionally impactful. It's just again the Titanic Overture was very sparse, and because it's the beginning, it just doesn't have the emotional weight that later tracks do. So it just kind of feels all right, we're kind of gearing up to get to the actual story, the meat of the album. Still a fun track, just nothing really crazy.
I think my favorite of all the slow meandering ones is The Gypsy Meets the Boy. That's a fun one.
Yeah. Later remade to be made Big, starring Tom Hanks.
Ooh.
Even though I think Big came out first, but that's our fucking...
I hope Tom Hanks is doing okay.
He got released from the hospital.
Oh, good for him. Is he back in the States or is he still in Australia?
I think he's still in Australia.
He can't come back, can he?
No, because Australia issued a Class 4, Level 4 travel ban, basically.
Yeah, we also issued the same ban on other countries, so he can come back regardless.
Yeah, no, I think the U.S. has traveled, basically does travel everywhere, or almost everywhere, and then Australia said no one can go in or out.
Well, there goes my Australia trip that I was not planning, but you know what?
Australia is really nice.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, everything there wants to kill you.
Just about.
Almost everything. Even koalas.
Even the little red telephone booths they have.
Have you heard the little... Wait, what?
Well, because they have those English-style telephone booths.
Yes. Do they want to kill us?
I'm sure they do. They're Australian, so...
Have you heard that Australian little prank they like to pull on us? That it got pulled on me back in our writing class with an Australian kid. He told me this rumor, and apparently it's a big prank they like to pull on us. Have you heard the drop bear story, Gus?
No.
A lot of Australians will tell foreigners that watch out for drop bears. When and let's talk about koalas. Talk about how when explorers came to the island, you'd be walking, all of a sudden one's down. You don't know where it is. And they'll talk about how koalas will apparently drop from the trees and just maul you. It's not true. They're just trying to trick foreigners, and I fell for it.
That would be the most adorable way to die.
Koalas are terrifying, Gus.
I mean, but they're so cute. I mean,
they're sometimes cute when they're not covered in blood and rain.
That's true. They also are
Have you seen their claws?
Yeah,
they're horrifying.
Pretty big.
They are. They got the nails did.
They did.
They did.
Went to the salon and everything. Yes, that's maybe it's koalas respect coronavirus because they don't adhere to social distancing rules. They go to the salon, get their nails done,
They
regardless.
drop on you, they maul you.
Yeah,
They're
regardless.
really just breaking the rules, aren't they?
Absolutely.
So, in 2021, koalas are canceled. You heard it here first.
Right here. Hashtag cancel all koalas.
I can't stand the hashtag cancel. I can't do it. I can't take it seriously.
How else do you look, man? As a social media guru, I assume. I assume because in the eyes of most corporations, like anyone born after 1995 is basically a social media guru because they know how to open Twitter, I guess.
And I can do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I feel like the hashtag cancel thing is just like a staple, of our generation.
It is, but I can't stand it. I think it's a goofy little way to say, "Oh, that's bad. It's shitty."
But it is bad and it's shitty. And
You're right.
Koalas probably should be canceled. I mean, they've been around for how long? What have they done?
What have they done for society?
Exactly.
Exactly. What research have they done?
Exactly.
Exactly. So, is there anything else you want to discuss about this album, Gus? Any other thoughts you have?
No, I think it's just the fact it's a really good. I mean, it has some missteps here and there, but I think overall it's still a really solid album. It's one of the, probably W.A.S.P.'s best, if not their best.
I think it was the most critically acclaimed, if not their highest selling.
Yeah. So I think it still really works as an album to this day, and I think it's definitely still worth checking out.
Oh yeah. I will go back and check and see if he edited out that word in that song in the remaster. But that's just a good lesson for everyone too. Even if you do love an artist, you gotta look at the negative aspects of their work. You can't just brush by and say, "Oh, it was just a little misnumber." I mean, you gotta look into it. It's just due diligence at that point in time.
Absolutely. And speaking of non-PC elements in art, let's move on to your aspect, the 1981 film Heavy Metal.
I still don't even know what I watched last night. I watched last night at midnight, actually. Didn't finish it till well past 1 a.m. It's an hour and a half long movie. I don't know how they made an hour and a half of that.
The main mistake you made is watching that film sober. Proc.
You know what? You're right, but I got these kidneys, Gus, so...
I mean...
Let's blame Russia for that one.
Let's blame Russia. I mean, so to go over, an overview of Heavy Metal, so it's an anthology sort of film. Basically there's it's sort of some of the Ballad Buster Scruggs where there's a different segment and a different segment and a different segment.
And it's just all tied together.
Yeah, it's tied together through reoccurring characters or themes or elements.
But I heard they cut out a middle segment that would have tied one scene to the next one.
They did.
Really sad about it.
I think it was that tied in the scene with Den, who's actually voiced by John Candy. And going to
Rest in peace, John Candy.
Rest in peace to B-17, which is the one with the pilots.
Yes, and so there's no tying together for that, so I'm really sad.
No,
'cause now it's just kind of a jump, but it's fun.
Yeah, like that film really was going to adhere itself to a strict sort of cohesiveness.
I'm still processing what I watched. I mean, it was visually pleasing, if not goofy as hell. I heard they had several animation studios do all the scenes at once to save time.
Yeah.
Which makes it seem a little disjointed at times with the animation, because it's close, but it's never quite matching, and it's really upsetting.
No, it's not. But I do think that it does allow, I guess, maybe a differentiation between the scenes. So it kind of feels like a series of small films instead of one big film.
It makes it more digestible, at least for that.
It does. I would say the thing with Heavy Metal is it has a lot of really cool concepts and visual elements, and it is it's a highly influential piece of film because.
Was it influential, Gus? Was it?
Yeah, mostly in more hard sci-fi or
Okay.
Maybe adult animation. For instance, South Park references the film 20-something years after it came out.
I can see a lot of those shorts being on Adult Swim.
Yeah,
I can see a lot of that.
So I think it's the thing. I think it probably influenced the kind of people who make things like South Park or Home Video or maybe even Children's Hospital or Rick and Morty. It's more adult geared animation. Because this is one of the first animated films I can think of that wholly geared towards
adults the entire time.
Because for the most part, because I think it's probably because Disney sort of dominated most animated films in at the time. So things like Snow White, Cinderella were made for families because that makes the most money.
Oh yeah.
But Heavy Metal was just nah, we're just gonna make a whole film just filled to the brim with
sex, drugs, rock and roll.
Absolutely.
I think the funniest scene was their little reference to cocaine, where it's just the entire floor. Because he rolls it like a few lines on the ground. It's is that enough? Go for broke.
Over broke.
And then he just covers the floor.
That's a lot. Yeah, Tony Montana style.
I think my favorite my favorite, I guess, subplot or short in the movie was the B-17 scenes.
With the pilots,
Those were fun. Mostly because it was still ridiculous, as most of the film is, but it wasn't quite as, like, overly sexualized or, like, ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was just a fun little plane scene where everyone dies, but it's a fun little plane scene.
Yeah, it was, my favorite, it's not a whole scene. I think it's kind of like near the opening where like the two pilots are like just stoned out of their mind and they're crash landing.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, man, I gotta follow instincts in my hands because my eyes are fucked, but my hands are sober, and they just crash lands right into the space station.
Just let your hands guide you, man.
Guys, hands gotta kiss your eyes.
The soundtrack was good though. I will give it that. That was a good soundtrack.
And like, it also has probably one of the most iconic openings in film with like the CG, or the astronaut kind of lands in the CG car, the record of that, and he's just kind of flying through space.
That was a good scene. Good opening.
Yeah.
The animation was a little jumpy in that one, but I think that's just how dated it is.
It is pretty dated, because the thing is like,
it was 1981, right?
Yeah, there's no, I don't, at that point, if they use computers, it was very base stuff. For the most part, it's all like kind of like practical 2D animation.
Which I've heard is just a pain to do.
It is, so they probably skipped a lot, which is why I kind of like a lot of times like. But it also kind of adds to the film, I think, in terms visually, because like there's times where like they're moving and it's not like it's kind of fluid, but also it's very like it seems like there's a few frames missing.
Oh yeah.
Which I think just sort of like adds to the visual.
There's a lot of that in the New York scene.
There is.
Where you can see like the main idea they're trying to convey is like correct, but if you look in the background, there's just frames missing like every other second.
There is.
Or you'll see like the cars in the background moving, and you'll see like in one single frame, like a blue car will move like all the way across the screen, just one quick jump.
I would say my personal favorite, probably short, was probably the Captain Stern, just because I really liked. I think I liked the idea of his character. Like not like in a like sort of like as actually I think he's a good person.
He committed horrible crimes, Gus.
Yeah, including the parking violation.
That was the worst one.
Absolutely. And then
not the 14 counts of rape.
37.
Oh goodness, I pay attention.
Yeah, he like I think the idea like basically he's sort of like I compare him more with like a Jamie Lannister, where it's like in the first couple seasons where it's like he's a magnificent bastard type, or maybe like Draco Malfoy, where he's clearly a bad or Severus Snape, where he's clearly a bad person.
But you're supposed to try to like him? Or?
No, more so just kind of like he's an interesting character.
He is an interesting character.
Like I just kind of like want to kind of sort of like see more of what he does.
See what his little zany adventures are about.
Absolutely, because without
all the horrible crimes.
Yeah. Another cast trivia. Do you know who voices Lincoln F. Stern?
I remember. Other than John Candy, there was a name I recognized, but I can't remember who it was.
It's Eugene Levy.
Oh yeah.
Who is mostly known for being the dad in American Pie.
I didn't see American Pie. Was there anything else?
He has been, but like that's like what I think most people know from his Jim's dad in Jason Biggs' dad in American Pie.
Oh, by the way, y'all are gonna get really mad at me a lot for me not knowing movies. This is part of why we're doing this show, so I can learn more about movies.
Well, it's not like I know music, so I think it's fair.
Exactly. So you're getting mad at both of us a lot, but that's okay because we can't see you, we don't know you.
We are young Gen Z. We're apathetic to our situation.
We're two best friends making a show on the internet. What do you want from us?
I think probably
knowledge.
Actual talents? I mean...
We are all talent, Gus.
We're all
take
talent.
that back.
I mean, well, it's like 50% because I'm all talent, and then you're all gumption there, buddy.
Oh, I have a lot of gumption.
You got a lot of moxie.
I got a lot of moxie. I'm all moxie. I would argue I'm more moxie than brains.
Yep, you're like 75-80% moxie, 5% brains, 15%. I don't know, like probably just knock off Adidas, sweatsuits.
Oh, by the way, I was born in Russia. If anyone ever questions my jokes, that's why he makes those jokes. I was born in Russia.
Oh yeah,
might as well give you some background on that one.
He's an illegal immigrant, but he doesn't even have a green card.
No, the government took that. Sadly, I'm sad.
They did.
All to get a passport. I'm a little upset with that one. I really wanted my green card.
Yeah, well, now, too bad. So next time ICE comes knocking on down our doors, like, have you seen any illegal immigrants in this area? I know exactly where to point.
What did I do to you guys, other than everything I've ever done to you? Other than every heinous thing I've ever done to you, Gus, what have I done to you?
You take out everything that maybe exists, I guess. Well, that's a heinous thing you've done.
I know. Exactly, that's what I'm saying, Gus.
It's... So overall, let's go back to the actual. Let's try back on topic for a change.
Fine.
So you liked the B-17 scene. I imagine
did.
the rest of them kind of like, eh.
I mean, it was one of those things where it was interesting, and I did really try to want to get into like this like little subplot stories.
Yeah.
But it just threw so many things at me at once, and I think it was partially because I was watching when I was really tired, and I knew I had to get up in the morning to like do stuff. So that might have been like why I probably wasn't as invested in it as I probably should have been.
Let me honestly, most people who watch it aren't even sober, so the fact that you were that is like
it's one of those things where it threw a lot of stuff at me at once, and I was trying to process things.
So what was your least favorite subplot?
The second to last one before the epilogue, the Tarina, is that how you say her name? Subplot.
Yeah.
It just seems slow and meandering, and then there was that entire sequence in the bar that could have just been cut out, and nothing would have changed.
Yeah, but like sex, I guess.
I mean, I get that was a major selling point, but
It was at least selling point. That was actually funny enough. That's probably the most. Sorry, not to interrupt.
I think she spent more time unclothed, like nude in that subplot than actually clothed.
She probably did.
I think she did, because that was an entire like minute at least of her like walking to the like swimming through the water and then walking up to the statue.
Yeah, you know what's kind of funny? Like I'm pretty sure that's probably the second most iconic aspect of the film behind the opening of the astronaut is that whole scene with her, especially when she's got the mount and everything. But that and
because they use it as the cover of the movie.
Yeah, they do, and that and then like probably the chick being disintegrated in the taxi cab.
Oh yeah, that was a cool device in the taxi cab.
That is, I so wish that actually existed because that seems like that. I mean, and look, the way it was installed also was really clever because like it was like up next to his brake, so he could just go, bam.
My one question is, when he opens the little box, put the gun in or the knife in,
Yeah.
whichever it was.
Near the end, it was a gun she was holding.
Like I'm saying for like the first guy that mugs him.
Oh.
It was a gun the first time. It was a weird like long gun.
Yeah.
You think after enough times, criminals would get together and be like, okay, this cab has a disintegrator in it. I need to either shoot the second I get in, or I need to try to do it from outside the cab.
Well, I think the issue is like it's New York, so there's a bunch of cabs, but also, what witnesses does this taxi have? Like, I mean, because I'm pretty sure it's only behind like the one seat. So assume he only really does it when there's like probably one solo jacker, which means there's never a witness to like him being like him disintegrating people.
I mean, but one of them has to be in a gang, right? And they wonder where he is. You would think.
I guess so, because it's like, I mean, it kind of depends, like, I mean, knowing it's kind of like cyberpunk worlds, generally, like, when someone dies or if someone doesn't show up, they go like, oh, that son of a bitch probably ran off with some loot, or, oh, he probably died.
Yeah. Which, I mean, technically is right, that he did die.
He did die. He died real good.
I love the police's price rates in that movie. $1,000 for an investigation.
Yeah, it's like, honestly, I mean, you never know in this country.
Is it any better here?
Yeah, basically. Honestly, how like public law enforcement kind of gets sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, generally you kind of get results by hiring a private investigator.
You really do. But overall, I mean, I'm gonna give the movie a 7 out of 10, which I think is a little generous.
You can go to a rating you want.
But I'm gonna give 7 out of 10, mostly because I did appreciate the animation a lot, and I appreciate the effort they clearly did put into it.
Yeah.
I think the story just threw a lot of sex and just a lot of like sensory overload at me, but it's okay because the animation was pretty and I liked it.
I appreciate the effort you took to really delete that from your search history so your parents didn't see you watching that movie.
I mean, I didn't want them to click on it and just have their day ruined. It's the last thing I needed. Now they hear us, they're gonna go back and actually buy it themselves and watch it just to see like what was Little Russ up to.
It's like it's like they go through like your whole.
I was on the joint Amazon account watching this.
That was a poor decision.
It was, but you know what? That's all I do is poor decisions. So.
That's a fair point. First watching the movie, then making this podcast. I mean, where will you go next?
Maybe college.
Let's not
step too far. I'm sorry.
Right. Let's not act like you're going to be successful here, Russ.
Hey, we can dream, can't we?
I mean,
keyword there's we, Gus.
Yeah, but
drag him down with me.
Don't let your dreams be memes.
Can that be our tagline for just our brand?
Don't let our dreams be memes.
Yes.
Sure.
And I mean, is there anything you want to add to the movie, Gus?
Overall, just like it's a fun '80s throwback. Look, it's an interesting '80s throwback.
It's interesting.
It's
fun. I'll give it that.
It was fun. Like, I would say just don't take it too seriously. Maybe don't watch it sober.
Don't go in having high hopes for anything you see in it.
But do go in high.
Just let it happen to you.
And I think you'll enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like a shoddy thing, I know. But
yeah, it's one of those movies. Again, it's one of those movies where you just can't let it happen. You can't go in expecting anything or wanting anything to happen.
Yeah. You
just gotta let it just. This is happening. Okay, we're on this ride.
Yeah. We'll see where this goes.
Oh, now we're on this ride. Cool.
I guess this thing, it does switch enough to kind of sort of genres, kind of, where maybe if you don't like all of them, there's probably a chance you'll at least sort of like one of them. Okay, so now that we sort of discussed the album and discussed the film, do you want to move on to our questionnaires?
Yes, this is the fun part. We each have 5 questions for the person. Whoever does better overall has to make the gross food. Whoever does worse has to eat the gross food. And there are some guidelines with this. Neither of us can use ours or anyone else's bodily fluids in the cooking of this food, and we can't put anything actually harmful in it. It just gotta be something gross. Some gross food.
Yeah.
This week it's cow tongue. We're gonna find grosser and grosser things as we go.
And we will update on the off chance that we can't find cow tongue.
If we can't find anything, we will put out an update and let everyone know what we change it to.
Alright, so on to the questionnaires.
Would you like to do your questions first, Gus?
Sure. I didn't think these were too hard, but we'll see.
Let's, Gus. This is me you're talking to.
Yeah. Okay, so what color was the Corvette the astronaut drove?
It was white.
Alright, what was the name of the green
Wait,
orb?
you have to say if it was right or not, Gus.
I
gotta keep my tally.
I'm pretty sure it's red.
I think it's white.
Let's see.
You didn't know the answers to this question before we started, Gus?
I'm almost assuming that it was
Look at the effort Gus has put into this show. This is what he thinks of y'all, folks.
That is true. That's absolutely what I think of y'all.
Just doubling down, aren't you?
Oh, you're right. It's a white Corvette.
Yeah, look at that. 1 for 1. Russ is 1 for 1.
Right.
Looks like you're going to eat some cow tongue, Gus.
Yep. Okay. What was the name of the green orb?
The sum of all evil.
Alright.
That's 2 for 2, Gus. I knew that one. That's one I memorized.
How does Harry Canyon kill would-be robbers?
With a disintegrator next to his brake that shoots into the back seat.
Alright. How did the pilot of the Pacific Pearl die?
Wait, there's 2 pilots. Which pilot was Oh, technically it's the same reason, I guess. No, there's 2. There's 2. Which pilot are you discussing, Gus? There's 2 of them.
Skip pilot, like the main pilot.
When he crash lands on the island, I guess it's zombies come out and get him.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of. I mean, arguably it's the same because, I guess
technically the Green Orb is responsible for both the deaths.
They are,
but one of them gets killed by a monster in the gunner's hole, and then one crash lands on an island and gets eaten. I guess. I think it's eaten.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Doesn't show it.
Gets to it gets mauled by zombies or implied.
Yeah.
To die.
So I'm 4 for 4. Look at me, Gus.
All right, where did Dr. Enrak work?
Pentagon.
Yeah. All right. 5 for 5.
Gus is probably gonna eat some cow tongue here.
All right.
My questions aren't too bad.
Okay.
They're arguably probably the same difficulty level as yours.
All right.
First question, Gus.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna ask you this first question actually because I don't know if you listened to this version.
What was the question?
Question was, what Led Zeppelin song did W.A.S.P cover on this album?
No, I didn't think that was the.
It's on the remastered, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Well then, first question, Gus. What's Jonathan Steele's brother's name?
Michael.
All right, you're 1 for 1, Gus. Look at you. Second question. What's the longest song on the album?
The longest song is Chainsaw Charlie.
You're close, Gus. That's the second longest song.
What's the longest song?
The Great Misconceptions of Me. It's 9 minutes and 44 seconds.
Oh, damn.
The
Chainsaw Charlie's about 9 minutes, but I don't think it's 9 minutes 40.
Chainsaw Charlie is 7 minutes 48 seconds. Both incredibly long songs.
Yep.
So you've already lost, but we're gonna keep going, Gus.
Okay.
What color is Jonathan Steele's guitar?
Crimson.
Yep. You're 2 for 3, Gus. You're still eating the cow song, but
Okay.
You know what, Gus? I'll throw you a bone here.
Okay.
After the end of our 5 questions, we can each give a bonus question if the other's ready for it.
Okay.
For all or nothing.
All right.
So if we get it wrong, we just lose.
All right.
But if we get it right, we just win.
Okay.
Next question.
All right.
In the song Dr. Rocker, what drug is discussed in the little bridge after the solo? What drug does he need? I'll give you a hint. Mirror.
Is it cocaine?
It is cocaine. He needs. I think the line itself is cocaine, and then it says something else. It's just what I need. I think it's.
I think there's like another drug mention that starts with a B, like something. It's
Byzantine.
Byzantine, maybe.
I think Byzantine's just like an actual like medical drug. I don't know. We're not doctors. We could be, but we're not.
No, we couldn't be.
Oh.
Yeah.
I gave ourselves a lot of hope there.
You did.
Gus was shut down.
I don't know why.
Okay. Alright, and the final song. What was his mom's name? Final question. My bad. What was his mom's name?
Martha?
You tried, Gus.
What's the name?
It's Elizabeth.
Okay.
Alright. Well, Gus lost this, but we each have the option for the bonus question to go all or nothing.
I'll take it.
You'll take it, Gus?
Yeah.
Alright. The bonus question is going to be hard, by the way.
Okay.
So it's not like...
Are you gonna go or no?
I'm not gonna go for the bonus question.
Yeah.
Well, I have to go for it if you get yours right.
Okay.
But if you get wrong, I just win.
Okay.
I'm going to look at the plot real quick just to find you, because I didn't have the bonus question ready.
Okay.
I probably should next time, but I didn't, because I'm a great person and great at preparing. Those are both lies.
Absolutely.
Those are both horrible lies. Okay. All right. In the song, "The Great Misconceptions of Me," what does he make out of his guitar strings?
A noose.
All right. All right. Okay. I probably easy-balled you there, but you know what? You got it. We're tied again. You get a bonus question, Gus.
I could make.
What's your question, Gus?
All right. So, with the character of Den,
Yes.
played by John Candy.
Yes.
Why is he called Den?
Why is he called Den? Because he stays in his room a lot.
No.
Oh. What is it?
It's his initials basically. It's like Dennis Ellis. His last name starts with M. I can't remember. But like his first, like basically like his name is his full legal name is like Dennis E. Something starts with an E. Something starts with an M or N. So Den.
Well, I got cocky. I lost. Gus, you gotta find cow tongue and make for me. I gotta eat it. Good luck with that. You have a week for that. If it takes longer, it takes longer. But the goal is a week. We'll just say that now. Our goal is a week to get the food challenge done. The food challenge will be live action.
Yeah, David Ellis Norman. That's
Look at
his
you.
legal name.
Well, don't get cocky, folks, because this happens to you. We have a week to do the food challenge, or ideally a week. If it takes longer, it takes longer.
Yeah.
We're in a pandemic, so we can't really get our hopes too high there.
Yeah, because we could at any point just be like, hey, you can't go anywhere now. Have fun.
And then we got to Amazon the cow tongue, which isn't going to be as fresh. And that's not okay.
Well, that's not my problem, though.
You have to buy it, or I'll give you money. I have to give you money
Well, I
for
have
it.
to buy it, but you have to eat it.
I have to eat it, but you have to make it.
That's fine.
Okay.
I mean, like, how long do you cook a cow tongue for anyway?
I don't know. Good luck.
I'm just gonna guess. We'll see where it goes. If you get sick, you get sick.
If you want to make it grosser, you can make it grosser. You can find weird things to put on it. Good luck.
No, I'm not gonna make it.
Cow tongue just has to be involved in the dish.
Okay, so cow tongue burger.
Ooh. Oh, that would be awful.
A cow tongue, like a Hawaiian style burger with sauteed onions and pineapples.
Let's clarify, Gus. Do I have to eat the entire thing, or am I just have to eat like a good chunk of it?
You have to eat at least half. I would argue.
At least half.
We're gonna
Okay.
go with like restaurant rules, where if you eat at least half, like it's
Okay,
like
then
$2.
the rules are the same for you if I make you something.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's at least half.
Okay, that's clarified. We have to eat at least half of it. It's gonna be live action. We'll have that out for y'all whenever we have it out. We're in a pandemic. We're doing the best we can. We hope y'all enjoy the show. That's really the premise of like what we're gonna be doing at the show. If we want to discuss other things on like random days and just do like a freeform podcast, that can happen too.
Yeah, you can also always just probably notify us. If you want something else kind of made, if you want if you recommend an album, recommend a film, or recommend an entirely different sort of topic in general, feel free to let us know.
Absolutely, we'll always look at that. We'll always listen. And again, any recommendations you'll have, feel free. We can make ourselves a little list of just recommendations.
All right.
That would be fun. And everyone stay safe. Wash his hands.
Yeah. Keep 6 feet distance.
6 feet. Not 5, not 7, 6.
And Russ, 600 feet from schools.
Hey! That's one time. Everyone have a good day.
You too.